February 7th, 2025. We will now start with the oath of office. So we're going to go to the podium.
Great.
No, that's the big this one.
I think you could discuss this. I think you discuss this.
I, Rhonda Crawford,
I, Markeisha Rush,
I, Leah Travis,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as a governing board member of the Twinsburg City School District, Summit County, Ohio, to the best of my ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect hereafter to be enacted during my continuance in said office and until my successor is elected and qualified. Thank you. Okay, I would like to officially call the organizational meeting to order right now at 5:35 p.m. Ms., can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Hamilton?
Here.
Mrs. Rush?
Here.
Mrs. Travis?
Here.
Mrs. Egan? Here. Mrs. Crawford?
Here. All right, and there's no addendums to the agenda, correct?
Correct.
All right, so the first organization of the board for the 2026 year is nominations for the office of president of the Twinsburg Board of Education for 2026 and to serve as the president pro term as next year's organization meeting until the 2027 president is elected. Do I have a nomination?
I have a nomination for Rhonda Crawford.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, and any others? All right, so I will accept it. And can we call the roll?
Mrs. Egan?
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mrs. Rush?
yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes. All right, and that passes 5-0. And nominations for the office of vice president of the Twinsburg Board of Education for 2026. I nominate Beth Egan. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Leah Travis. Do you accept?
I accept.
All right, can we call the roll?
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mrs. Rush?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Egan?
Yes.
All right, and that passes 5-0. Next is order of voting on motions and resolutions in 2026. Use of Robert Rules of Order. The member making the motion is called first. The member seconding the motion is called next. The vice president called second last, and the president called last, in alphabetical order when possible. Robert Rules of Order shall prevail in determining all board meeting procedural questions. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Egan,
Second.
second by Ms. Hamilton. Any discussion? Can you call the roll?
Mrs. Egan?
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mrs. Rush?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes, and that passes 5-0. F, treasurers and superintendent's business. Number 1, resolve that the Board of Education dispense with the reading of the board minutes of each regular and special meeting provided they are delivered to the board members at least 2 days prior to the board meeting when approval is anticipated. 2, and further resolve that the superintendent and treasurer do internal appropriation modifications whenever necessary under provisions of the purchasing and other financial policies of the district and under Ohio law. 3, and further resolve to appropriate a $10,000 service fund account in 2026. 4, and to further resolve to grant the superintendent and/or designee authority to file application for all projects considered desirable for the Twinsburg City School District. 5, and further resolve to authorize the signature of the treasurer or the facsimile thereof to be used on all checks and warrant. And further resolve to designate the superintendent or designee as purchasing agent for the Twinsburg City School District for 2026. 7, and further resolve to authorize the treasurer to invest funds, whatever practical as permitted by law, either in short-term or long-term investments, and to give a report to the board. 8, and further resolve to authorize the treasurer to provide payments to employees for salaries and expenses and to suppliers for goods and services within appropriations. A check register will be presented to the board. 9, and further resolve that the treasurer's name will appear on all active accounts. 10, and further resolve that the budgetary level of authority and legal level of appropriations to be at a fund level for the general fund and all other funds. 11, and further resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education sets the payments for board members per the following schedule. Will receive $100 per meeting for a maximum of 45 meetings for the calendar year in 2026. 12, and further resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education sets the date, time, and place for regular board meetings for calendar year 2026. First and third Wednesday of each month, with the following exceptions: June, the first Wednesday of this month, June 3rd, 2026, and fourth Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. July, one board meeting, July 15th, 2026. September, first Wednesday, September 2nd, 2026, and fourth Wednesday, September 23rd, 2026. December, only one board meeting, December 9th, 2026. The board meetings will be called to order at 6:30 p.m. The place of the board meetings will be held at the Twinsburg Government Center or at the Twinsburg High School Auditorium or LGI room when the Twinsburg Government Center is not available. And further resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts any and all federal and state grant monies available to the district, and to authorize the participation of staff members in any grant programs available to the district during the school year for 2026 and 2027. And further resolve to authorize the superintendent to employ personnel and accept resignations as needed during calendar year 2026. Such employments and resignations will be reviewed by the Board of Education at its next regularly scheduled meeting. 15, further resolve to authorize the treasurer to district board-approved legal counsel to file original complaints against the valuation of commercial properties, to file counter complaints against the valuation of commercial properties, to present evidence relating to the value of such properties at hearing or trial, to appeal decisions of the Summit County Board of Revision and the Ohio Board of Tax Appeals, to participate in any other retail property tax appeal, to enter into settlement agreements and stipulations of values related to real property tax cases, and to take such other actions as are necessary to protect the best interests of the Twinsburg City School District in matters of real property taxation, provided that the treasurer given regular updates regarding such actions to the Board of Education and Superintendent for 1 year period beginning January 1st, 2026. And further resolve to recommend that the Twinsburg Board of Education appoint the superintendent, treasurer, business manager, and Peters, Kalali, and Marquis Company, LPA, as representatives to the Tax Incentive Review Council meetings at Summit County Department of Economic Development and at the City of Twinsburg. And further resolve to appoint Leah Travis as the delegate and Beth Egan as the alternative delegate to the Ohio School Boards Association 2026 Capital Conference. And further resolve that the Akron Beacon Journal, the Plain Dealer, both daily newspapers of general circulation, and or Twinsburg Bulletin be designated the official publications for legal notices. And further resolve to appoint the Record Commission of the Twinsburg City School District for calendar year 2026, comprised of the President of the Board of Education, Superintendent, Treasurer, and Business Manager of the district. The Records Commission shall meet at least one each calendar year to establish rules for retention and disposal of records and to review same. And further resolved that the Board of Education approves petty cash funds, building principal or designee, and athletic director coordinator of K through 12 student activities may request up to $300. Central office budgetary officer may request up to $200. Food service director may request $200 petty cash in addition to the $360 change fund. Expenditures up to $25 may be made from petty cash. And further resolved that the audit committee will consist of a member of the finance committee in addition to the superintendent or a designee and treasurer. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Travis,
Second.
second by Mrs. Egan. Any discussion?
If no discussions, Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Roche,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes, and that passes 5-0. G, appointment of the Board of Education representatives on behalf of the Board of Education. Number 1, the Finance Committee, Rhonda Crawford and Maria Hamilton. 2, Buildings and Grounds Committee, Rhonda Crawford and Beth Egan. 3, Curriculum and Technology Committee, Leah Travis and Beth Egan. 4, Policy Committee, Leah Travis and Markeisha Rush. 5, Athletic and Student Activities Committee, Beth Egan and Markeisha Rush. 6, Business Advisory Council, Rhonda Crawford and Maria Hamilton. And 7, Legislative Liaison to the Ohio School Board Association, Leah Travis. Alternative is Beth Egan. And 8 is Student Achievement Liaison to the Ohio School Board Association, Maria Hamilton. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Travis,
Second.
second by Mrs. Egan. Any discussion?
I have a question. How are the committees picked? What is the process? How are the committees picked?
Through the president is elected, selects the committees.
Do we ever take into interest or into consideration the interests of what other board members, like what they may be interested in?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Roche,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes. And that passes 5-0. H, representation of legal counsel. Resolved to approve the following list of firms from legal counsel representatives during 2026. Peter Kalali and Marquise Company LPA, Squire, Patton and Bogg, attorneys at law. Reitz, Paul and Short, attorneys at law. Branzetta, McIntyre and Seed LLP. Rotzell and Andrus LPA. Gingo and Bear Law LLC. Additionally, the Ohio School Board Association, the OSBA, Legal Assistant Fund. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Egan,
Second.
second by Mrs. Hamilton. Any discussion?
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Roche,
Yes.
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes. And that passes 5-0. I, appointment of staff to positions for the 2026 year. 1, title, 9, hearing officer, business manager is the business manager. 2, the anti-harassment grievance officer is the director of human resources and/or the business manager. The 504 ADA compliance officer is the director of pupil services and/or the director of human resources. Our civil rights coordinator is the director of pupil services and/or the director of human services. Homeless liaison is director of pupil services, and the suspension appeal officer, as the designee of the board, is the superintendent or the designee. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Egan,
Second.
second by Mrs. Travis. Any discussion?
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Roche,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes. That passes 5-0. J, appointment of district records officer for the 2026 year. Resolved to recognize the administrative assistant to the superintendent as district records officer as established under Twinsburg City School Administrative Guideline 8310A. The individual in this position will also serve as the Twinsburg City School District designee in this regard. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Travis,
Second.
second by Mrs. Rush. Any discussion?
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Rush,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes, and that passes 5-0. And do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at? Oh, I was like, at 5:49 p.m.
So moved.
So by Mrs. Egan,
Second.
second by Mrs. Hamilton. Any discussion?
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Rush,
Yes.
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes, and that passes 5-0. The next meeting we have is at 6 o'clock for the tax budget hearing. So we will adjourn this meeting, and right now we will take pictures with the board and families. So thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the agenda, the meeting for the special meeting tax budget on Wednesday, January 7th, 2026 at 6 o'clock p.m. I would like to call the meeting to order at 5:59 p.m. Can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Crawford,
Here.
Mrs. Egan,
Here.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Here.
Mrs. Rush,
Here.
Mrs. Travis.
Here.
All right, and I will turn it over to you to do your report.
Great. As usually, ladies, I have a presentation for us and for the community about the tax budget, and I also have the numbers that I shared with all of you. So I included some of those numbers in the presentation. The purpose of our tax budget is to establish a need for local tax collections by the school district, so the rates can be then set by the County Budget Commission, and to provide information to the County Budget Commission so the certificate of available estimated resources can be created. So this tax budget, just to clarify, we're talking for the following fiscal year, so it will start on July 1 of this summer, 2026, so it is numbers for fiscal year 27. Based on ORC Code 5705.281, school boards of education must approve the tax budget by January 15th of each year, and it needs to be submitted to the county auditor by January 20th. So what we usually do is we do the presentation, the public hearing tonight, and then if we all approve it, then tomorrow I'm submitting it to the county, so we're meeting the deadline timely. If you all remember, I believe last year or 2 years ago, we actually had to approve it on January 15th, but we were good with that too. So this year, we're a little ahead of that. The County Budget Commission will approve the district's tax budget in February 2026 for fiscal year 27. The district's initial certificate of estimated resources for fiscal year 27 will reflect the certified tax revenue per the Budget Commission numbers. Several documents are used to put together a tax budget. I think it's, yeah, sorry. No, I skipped one. Okay. The main document is the Summit County Budget Commission certification of tax levy, which is provided by the county auditor in February of each year, and shows each of the tax levies for the district, the voted millage, the effective rate of the millages, and the tax revenues values based on the assessed values of the district. So just to clarify, the document that we have worked off of for now was issued in February 2025 because we don't have a new valuation from the county until this upcoming February. Okay. Okay. Each levy can only collect the amount of the taxes it was originally voted in for. And we talk about this basically multiple times during the year, during different occasions when we refer to House Bill 920 that was put in place in 1976. Basically, it limits the collections of the school district to the same amounts that they were voted in for, and that's actually a very large, it's big because it limits our collections to the amounts that they were originally voted in for. And I have an example here in front of us, current expenses that were authorized prior to 1976 at 22.74 mils have been reduced over time. And if you see the second blue arrow column on my chart, we're showing that opposed to 22.74 mils, we are currently collecting 4.22 mils on residential and agricultural properties and we are collecting 6.92 mills on commercial properties. So that shows how over the time the millage is reduced by the county, so the school district does not get more money than what it was originally voted in for. Okay, we do get, just to be clear, a slight increase for new houses, for new properties, but we do not get more on existing properties than back in 1976 in this example. Okay, and then I'm showing the amounts that we get twice a year: January to June collection and July to December collection, $3.6 million each for a $7.2 million total. So our estimate for the certified tax revenues are little over $51 million for the general fund and $2.16 million for permanent improvement. So I have compiled from the county tax levy certificate this page, put it together for an easy to review for our amounts that we are collecting based on each levy that has been put in place in our district, for a total of $53,220,000. Okay, on this page, I have a broken up valuation of our district being over $1,349,000,000 and how that is compounded from where does that valuation come put together. Agricultural, mineral, industrial, commercial, residential, public utility properties. Okay. Schedule 2 of the tax budget lists the current taxes levied for the district's capital project funds. And we do go over that multiple different times during the year, that we feel blessed in this district, that the district actually does have a capital project fund of $2.1 million, because it helps us to maintain as much as possible our buildings. Of course, it's limited amount of funds, but we are grateful because so many school districts do not have such. And next to the buildings, we're also using those funds, as we all know, at different times for curriculum, for very large purchases of Chromebooks for the students, curriculum materials. What else? Anybody? Yes, purchasing buses. Yes, we're buying buses from it. Mr. Strickland, step in if you would. PI monies. So technology. Yeah, I did say technology. So yeah,
Technology, buildings.
correct. Grounds. Yes. Okay, Schedule 3 of the tax budget is a statement of fund activity, which includes all other funds of the district which do not receive tax revenues. And we put this together by the beginning, using the beginning cash balance as of this past summer, the estimated revenues that we will receive in the following fiscal year, the estimated expenditures, and then the estimated cash balances for each fund listed separately. The next page in the tax budget is an unvoted general debt obligations on Schedule 4, which also include Yes, it's included in the tax budget, and I wanted to mention here that we used to have 3 energy conservation loans, and we paid one off just this past November for a December 1st due date, so we're very excited about that. So at this point, we only have 2. And then we have a voted debt schedule, Schedule 5. And we do not have currently any outstanding voted debts since the high school was fully paid off in December 2021.
Nice.
So that was my quick presentation. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education. Unmute. Can you hear me? Good, okay. Resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education, Summit County, Ohio, holds this public hearing to review and approve the tax budget for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2026, and to provide an opportunity for public comment per the attached exhibit. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Hamilton,
Second.
second by Mrs. Travis. Any discussion?
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Rush,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes. And that passes 5-0. And do we open it?
Yeah, we supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any public comment? No? All right. Well, then I'll make the motion to adjourn at 6:11 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Egan. Any discussion? Okay.
Mrs. Crawford,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Rush,
Yes.
Mrs. Travis.
Yes.
All right, and that has 5-0, so we are now adjourned. Our next meeting will start at 6:30 p.m., so we will be back at that time. Thank you. The meeting to order for 6:13 p.m. for our regular meeting scheduled today on January 7th, 2026. Do I have, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Rush,
Yes.
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes. Thank you. All right, if everyone's able and willing, can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so good evening and Happy New Year to our students, staff, families, and community members. I hope everyone enjoyed a restful holiday break. I know many families experienced illness over the break, so I want to remind everyone to continue monitoring health concerns, follow guidance from healthcare providers, and keep students home when they are not feeling well. I want to spend a few moments revisiting our district's financial position, as this was discussed at our last board meeting and has been an ongoing conversation over the last year, I should say. Yesterday, Superintendent Mr. Marlowe sent a communication to our community regarding a letter that the district received from the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce. Based on our first required fiscal year 2026 financial forecast, the district is projecting a deficit of approximately $730,243 in fiscal year 2028. As a result, the district has been designated in a precautionary financial status. This is a notification, not a crisis, but it is an important signal that planning is required. Public school districts are not permitted to operate with a deficit, and we take this responsibility seriously. I also want to be very clear for our community, this letter does not declare Twinsburg to be in fiscal caution, fiscal watch, or fiscal emergency. Districts in this situation are sometimes informally referred to as being in a precaution status, which means the state is working with us early before any formal oversight is triggered. The purpose of this process is to help districts develop a plan to avoid a projected deficit, not to penalize them. It is also important to acknowledge that the underlying structural financial challenges facing the district date back way more than a decade, well before the current board was seated. While we cannot change the past, we are committed to addressing these long-standing issues responsibly and transparently. This situation is not unique to Twinsburg. More than 45 school districts across Ohio are currently experiencing similar precautionary designations. The context matters, but it does not lessen our responsibility. One message that is very important for our community to hear clearly is this: your board, treasurer's office, and our administration team have already reduced the district's projected deficit significantly from over $8 million down to roughly $700,000. That progress is reflected in the fiscal year 26 forecast in the state's notification, which shows a projected fiscal year deficit of negative $730,243 after cost-saving measures already taken. Key actions contributing to this improvement include a targeted retirement incentive and buyout program, long-term staff adjustments, and continued reductions in non-instructional operating expenses. These savings were incorporated into the revised 5-year forecast submitted in October and have already improved the district's financial outlook. Mr. Marlowe, our treasurer, the central office team, and the board are actively working to address this projected deficit. While we are focused on resolving the approximate $700,000 shortfall, the bigger picture is long-term planning. We must continue to examine spending, identify opportunities to reduce costs, and explore more ways to increase revenue, so we are not simply reacting year to year, but planning responsibly for the future. We are fortunate to have a strong finance committee made up of experienced professionals who are providing valuable insight and guidance. This evening, you will hear from our treasurer regarding the state income tax information, as well as from Mr. Marlowe regarding our possibility of a ballot issue in May. These conversations are not about sustainability. These conversations are about sustainability, our buildings, our levies, and long-term financial health of our district. I would also like to provide a brief update of our superintendent search. At this time, we have received 14 applications, and applications will remain open until January 26th. So the board is continuing this process in partnership with Finding Leaders. So if you know of someone who is interested, please make sure you contact Finding Leaders and refer them over to that. We appreciate the interest we've seen so far, and we look forward to reviewing the candidate pool and continue this important work on behalf of the district and community. I also want to briefly acknowledge the updated cell phone policy that went into effect on Monday, the first start of the semester. From what we're hearing so far, staff seems to be supportive of the change and happy about the cell phones. I'm not sure about the students, but so far it seems like everything's going well overall. We do appreciate the cooperation of all the students and families as we continue to reinforce the expectations. And then did want to let you know a notice went out this week about the district is currently accepting applications for the Twinsburg Educational Opportunities Committee, which plays an important role in advancing access and opportunity for all students. This committee is co-chaired by Naomi Sig and Irene Wilkerson, both of who have been involved since the committee's inception and bring deep experience, commitment, and care for our students and community. Important dates to remember is the application deadline, if you're interested, is on January 20th, and then notification of the membership will be on January 30th. We encourage the community members who are passionate about education and student opportunity to apply. This is a meaningful way for you to contribute to our district. Also, I want to share information regarding a required instructional program under Senate Bill 288, passed by Ohio's 134th General Assembly. This law requires developmentally appropriate child sexual abuse prevention instruction for students in grades K through 6. In January and February, students at Wilcox Primary and Samuel Bissell Elementary School will participate in the Fight Child Abuse program, facilitated and trained by Beachbrook staff. This is the same program the district has used for the past 2 years and focuses on the age-appropriate safety skills. There will also be a virtual parent meeting on Thursday, tomorrow, January 8th at 6:00 p.m., where families can learn more about the program and ask questions. Over the break, I had the opportunity to travel to Tampa, Florida, as my son is part of the boys varsity basketball team. Our boys varsity team, ladies varsity team, and JV ladies team all competed in a Tampa Bay Christmas Invitational, and all 3 teams went 3-0, winning championships in their respective brackets. It was an incredible experience to witness, and we're extremely proud of all the students and coaches, so congratulations. I want to also recognize individual honors from that tournament. The MVPs who were awarded were Cameron Suggs from the boys varsity team and JC Hutton from the girls varsity team. So congratulations to both of them on their well-deserved recognition. And then we also want to congratulate our speech and debate team for outstanding showing at the Kenston Speech and Debate Tournament on December 30th, competing against 32 schools with over 400 students. A special congratulations to sophomore Yuma, who earned 3rd place in Nova's informational speaking, and senior Kari Nichols, who earned 2nd place in Nova's program oral interpretation. Thank you to the advisors Maggie Chernick and Abby Todd for their leadership and support. And then as we move into a busy winter season, I want to remind families to continue supporting our students by attending upcoming athletic events, show choir performances, concerts, and other school activities. There's truly a lot going on across the district, and our students notice when the community shows up for them. Upcoming events include the Educational Options Night on Wednesday, January 14th at 6:30 p.m. and CVCC Parent Night on Thursday, January 15th. And finally, I want to help spread the word about our Black History Month commemorative shirts organized by the THS Black History Club. This year marks the 100th anniversary of Black History Month, and the club hopes to see widespread participation from staff and families. If you're interested in ordering a shirt, the deadline is Sunday, January 18th. They're being ordered through RDP, and everyone is encouraged to wear their shirts on Friday, February 6th. Thank you for your continued support of our students, and that ends my president's report. I'll turn it over now to Superintendent Marlowe.
Thank you, President Crawford. Very well said. Thank you very much. I'd first like to welcome our newly elected board members. Mrs. Rush,
Thanks.
Ms. Travis, Ms. Crawford, thank you for not only what you are doing now, but what you are going to do in the future for our school district. So on behalf of myself, I greatly appreciate it because I know it's a lot of work, and I know it's not always applauded, the work that you do, but I greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much for your service to our community. and I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of people, but I know for myself, I know the work that goes into this, and I really do appreciate you taking the time and to support our community, our kids. So thank you. Our first semester has ended, so we are moving into the second semester. We moved in on Monday, and report cards are available online Friday after 1 o'clock-ish. So all those report cards are available after 1 o'clock on Friday. So we're excited to be in our second semester. I'm not going to repeat everything that Mrs. Crawford said, but we continue to have outstanding events in our schools, and please go out and support our kids and our coaches. We do a great job, so we appreciate everyone's support. And that completes my report.
Yeah, and congratulations. I said it last meeting, but I forgot to say it again. Congratulations, Keisha Rush, on your election. We appreciate, we're glad to have you. Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
So thanks for being here, and congratulations on your reelection. Yeah.
And congratulations on your
I was about to
reelection.
say, congratulations, Rhonda, and Leah, on a reelection.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so committee reports, finance.
We do have a report there. We had a finance committee meeting right before winter break. Again, just to remind everyone, we did open that committee to members of the community. We put a request out for applicants that would be interested. We said we would bring in 6. We had 7 applicants, and so we all looked at each other and said, okay, we're going to have 7. And we have 7 wonderful community people, community members, all have some kind of financial background, interest, work experience. And it's interesting because quickly they're finding that, a school district isn't Amazon and Macy's. It's a school district, and the funding and the way the finances operate are very different than the business world. So that has been an experience that we've all gone through. Mrs. Rosnaya's tutoring all of us and breaking out everything, breaking it down for the committee. This last meeting, we talked about some of the things that we saw here today, but a lot of the time was spent on what is a levy, what is millage, what are the bonds, how do they come about, how will they proceed from this point forward. We talked about the governor's signature that happened here just right before the first of the year on changing the way some things are being done in school finance. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and I find the members of the committee people who are very willing to step out and help support what's going on in the district and help educate fellow community members and grow that understanding of what it is and where we are, and that we talked about the other districts and other places that are millions in debt as of 2028. Millions. We're closing buildings. They're cutting staff. For us to be where we are, again, Mrs. Crawford made the statement. It's no excuse. We still have to do our job, but the job that we've been doing is not putting us into debts of millions and double and triple millions of dollars. And so, again, we caution the community to watch the news, to read the paper. You'll see some of the things, the 45-plus districts that receive the letter. These are the things that we'll share with the Finance Committee so that, again, it can grow into the community. So excellent meeting, excellent meeting. And thank you for all those that come and are doing and putting the time in.
Thank you. That was the only meeting. Okay. All right. So now I will turn it over for administrative reports.
Looks like I'm on a roll tonight. Good evening again, everyone. My role with this presentation tonight is to talk about possible other type of income tax for the school district, opposed to what the community is used to for all these years in the past, for the last 40 or so years with the property taxes. The first question That's probably when we talk about taxes, that's coming to everybody's and community members' mind is why the school districts ongoing go back to ask for more funding. So on this page, I would like to just quickly cover a little bit of the reasons to maintain long-term fiscal responsibility, to offset lost public utility revenues, which we have been talking numerous times. Our school district used to have a public utility revenue of over $6 million, probably back in 2000. Our superintendent probably can help me with that, 2012-13, when it started to be getting less and less over the years. So as of 2021, I believe, we no longer receive money. It was taken away and erased from our revenues. Our district has lost over the period of about 10 years, about $24 million with the public utility revenue being taken away. To address steadily rising operation costs, as we all know, inflation just by itself and plus COVID draw the prices higher on everything, so that's affecting us at a very large scale. Navigate limitations imposed by House Bill 920, which I just mentioned during my prior presentation just a little bit, which was voted in 1976. So the school districts are not able to collect more funds. As the years go by, we are keep on collecting the same amount of money for which they were voted in originally. To sustain existing academic programs, to maintain manageable class sizes and appropriate staffing levels, and to protect co-curricular and extracurricular student opportunities, because overall we are here to look out for our students and to help them be the best that they can be. I do have a very short YouTube video here. If you would allow me to, please, to just show it. I think it's very simple, but it kind of on the same lines. It explains what's happening with the school's public funding. Thank you. It's not.
All these other areas for me.
any character you want in seconds.
Thank you. I will now talk about the school district income tax, which is not a resident tax, is not paid by businesses or non-residents, unlike a municipal income tax. As of January 2024, 2012 school districts had a school district income tax. So that's about a third of the 607 school districts in the state public schools. Income tax rate is submitted for approval in increments of 0.25%. At the board option, there are two different types of school district income tax. One is a taxable income tax of district residents, which taxes all type of income, including Social Security, pension, retirement, everything. And the second type is an earned income tax of individuals residing in the school district. A school district cannot have both type of income taxes, only one. It can be for any number of years or for continuing period of time. The submission requirements are 2 board resolutions with intervening state tax commissioner certification of income tax rate and property tax rate required to generate the proposed amount. Majority affirmative board member votes is required for each resolution. Filing deadlines are 100 days prior to the election date for the first resolution and 90 days for the second resolution. Notice of election needs to be published in a newspaper of general circulation in the county once a week for 2 consecutive weeks prior to the election, or as provided in section 7.16 of the revised code. And if the Board of Elections operates and maintains a website, posted to that site for 30 days prior to election. Notice of election needs to be published in a newspaper of general circulation. Just as I have mentioned. So for our district, based on the Department of Taxation, a 1% earned income tax is estimated to generate about $9.5 million annually. And again, just a reminder, it only applies to earned income such as wages, salaries, and net self-employment income. It does not tax non-income earning residents. So I'm underlining again. Why does it jump? Okay. That school district income tax is not a property tax. So your property information or valuation has nothing to do with it. It is taxed for earned income, so it does not apply to retirement, pensions, Social Security, unemployment, interest, dividends, or capital gains. It's hard to see, and I'm sorry about that. I tried to put it here. All the school districts that currently in the state of Ohio have an earned income tax, so one of the 2 types. 66 school districts have an earned income tax, and the rest, about 146 school districts, have the traditional school district income tax collecting at this point in time in the state. So we have looked up the list, and we will see that most school districts around us do not have a school district income tax. So this is kind of a new idea. It's something that schools are starting to thinking more and more about because of the property valuation. Property tax is becoming higher and higher for the residents to become unaffordable, and the state is cutting more and more of our revenues down. So schools are starting recently to look into this way of generating steady income for running the school district. We have seen, if we go through the list, which is very hard to see, but I did make note, in Summit County, we have Norton City School District collecting unearned income tax. Northwest Local School District in Stark, Summit, and Wayne County looks like they reach out to 3 counties. They are collecting a 1% of earned income tax. In Portage County, James Garfield Local School District is collecting a 1.25%. Cloverleaf in Medina County is collecting a 1%. And Berkshire Local School District is collecting a 1%. So those are just some of the schools that I saw nearest to us that have a school district income tax, just for our general information.
And Ms. Julie, if I could, I was at a
Please.
meeting this week, and I know there are a number of school districts that are calling these districts that have earned income issues and are inquiring about, okay, how did you go about doing this? Because the over-reliance on property tax is burdensome on people, right? And the spikes in the valuations of things of that nature, which, you know, we've all heard about the reform that has gone on in Columbus, the bills that have been passed that are going to limit school districts from doing certain things. Us, as you know, emergency levies are no longer going to be in existence. We have to be renewed as something else, right? But I know, speaking to the treasurers, I called Norton, I called
Berkshire?
and I called the Westerville down in Columbus. They're all getting more calls from other districts because there needs to be a shift in how we're funded. So this is just another opportunity to shift. And again, it's important that we know it doesn't tax the retirement income, the pensions, the dividends, things of that nature, that a lot of our community members are retirees, they're on pensions, they're on Social Security. This does not tax those individuals. Sorry, Julie, I didn't mean
No,
to.
great, thank you. It should be a conversation, so thank you so much for any input that anybody has. Our attorney from, Attorney Sharp from Squire Patton Box, when I reached out to request information to how can we find out of how much revenues we would generate by 0.25% increments, he has also shared with me the same that you have heard, Mr. Marlowe. He said that he talked about school district income tax more in the last month than he has in the last 20 years, because schools need to start thinking basically outside of the box to what is there potentially that we can do to maintain what we have going for the students. So here I have just a very, very simple little table, just still for anybody's easy to see of what a 1%, and this is just a hypothetical, easy to look at number, a 1% earned income tax scenario. How would it affect our resident who is working somewhere with their gross income? So that's all I have on the table there. And then I have a little bit of property operating tax updates. Given recent legislative changes, the only operating levy beyond the school district income tax that is currently available for schools is a traditional millage-based levy for the purpose of current expenses. That levy can run for any number of years, up to 5, or a continuing period of time. Emergency levies are no longer allowed. However, the existing emergency levies and substitute levies, when they expire, they would be renewed as a fixed sum levy under House Bill 129 as of this point in time. And then for comparison reasons, because I have a little chart there, 2 slides before, of how much a 1% earned income tax would cost the resident. Here I have, just for our knowledge, again, for comparison purposes, of what 5.9 mil levy would cost our property owner. So our school district's current tax valuation is $1,349,000,000, a little over that. The new values will come out in February, as I mentioned in my prior presentation. So 1 mil applied to our current valuation. If we would look at options between earned income tax, that's the whole reason I'm doing this, or property tax of 5.9 mil would generate us little under $8 million. While I just covered that the 1% earned income tax would generate about $9.5 million. And I have here the cost to our resident for a hypothetical of 5.9 mil. And of course, we can work with these numbers to look at whatever we need, what any millage or any earned income tax percentage that we wish to. And that was my educational presentation for a comparison between a potential new option for the district that has not been looked at in the past.
Have you been able to see whether or not it is retro? If
It is not.
it is not,
No.
Okay, so that's good to know. And then, have you been able to talk to any of like the districts like Norton to like see how they have collected? And
Mr. Marlowe has reached out to
Yeah,
the
the
school
collection
district.
comes from the state, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the collection comes from the state. Typically, there's a lag,
Yeah.
but it's not 18 months to
3 years.
3 years. Yeah, other questions? Yeah, I've spoken to a few of them.
Okay.
But the lag is typically 18 months to 3 years. No, you said retro.
No retro.
No retro.
No retro collection.
Yeah, because those
And-
were the questions that came up.
And a key for them is that it doesn't, again, no pensions, no social security, no dividends. We're aging, right?
Right.
I mean, and our aging population, me one of them, in this world, our property taxes continue to rise, and when we're on fixed incomes, this hopefully releases some of that burden.
Yeah, because we've heard, and that was one of the biggest things, we heard loud and clear from the community, that as far as the property taxes, paying more money, and we realize it's a burden to the community, and so that's why we wanted to look at this other option, and to hear, like, we did not want to go the other way because we knew the other way would tax everyone, and we know that a large population, is it 80%? 80% of our community is retired. And so we wanted to be able to have a better solution that will work better for our community. So
It's Steve, when you said lag, do you mean before it's like implemented? It can take like one?
yeah, the
Before it
collection.
starts collections,
That's what I was
Ms.
asking.
Hamilton.
All right, thank you. Sorry, Mark. were you
No,
saying
it's okay. So thank you, Julia, for pulling this information together. I want to add, school district taxes is not something, it's new to our area up here, but it's very big in southern Ohio and mid-Ohio from that standpoint. So my first question is, are we proposing this instead of property taxes moving forward, or are we looking at this as an option from that standpoint? Is it as an option versus just property tax? Okay, you look this way, so I'll look this way.
No, I think that's a decision you as a board have to And here's the thing, we can jump to mine and please know, like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. And I didn't, and my wife's name is Debbie, by the way, so when I say that, I don't mean to be offensive. She's Debbie. I apologize. And I apologize a lot, too, and I apologize for apologizing a lot. We're going to need additional revenue.
Right.
We're going to need additional revenue. I think, as Mrs. Crawford so eloquently put in her speech, we have a $730,000 deficit. I know I sent that Parent Square yesterday or the day before, but I want to be transparent, and I want people to know this is where we're at. And we're going to get rid of that 730 like we did, the last forecast. We reduced through buyouts and things of that nature. There were things we did to reduce it dramatically, right? So we're going to get rid of that 730. I'm confident of that. But it's, let's plan for the future so we're not in this boat again. Does that make sense? So we're going to need additional revenue. I personally, and based upon the facts, I don't think it's a way that we can cut our way out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I answered your question. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but we're going to need additional revenue. That's a board decision. Like, do we I think are recommending earn income. It doesn't impact the city income tax.
It doesn't.
Doesn't.
No.
So this is an earned income, totally different from the city income tax. I want to make sure we're very clear on that.
Yeah,
But this
right.
is earned income, and again, it relieves the property tax, issue. Not totally, but it relieves some of that. So we as a board have to make that decision. There are things like timeliness is very important because May is the next ballot issue, and I'm sorry, if you want me to be quiet, I will be quiet, but May is the next ballot issue. So we have to really move quickly if we're going to do this because, as Julia, I think, put in 100 days out, we have to do the first, and then 90 days. So we have to move quickly if we're going to do this. We can go through I have just 2 slides, and I'm sorry I ramble, but I'm concerned about our fund balance. We all know this. Like our fund balances in 2020, in 28, FY 28, are, can we go to the other one? I'm sorry. Okay, so here's our fund balance. Here's our fund balance. 23, it was 18. 24, it was 17. I'm sorry, Jen, I probably skipped ahead. The 28 issue is the issue that the state sent us, and we knew that was going to happen. We knew we were going to get a letter, right? So we knew that was going to happen. But that 28 number has been reduced dramatically. In Julia's last forecast, it was much higher. We've done some things. You as a board have done things. We've reduced that. Now it's 730. We're going to get that 730, so we're not going to have to do this grand plan of reduction plan that the state helps you with. I've never had to do it. I'm being honest. Never had to do it, but we are not going to have to do that because we're going to eliminate that 730. Okay, but going forward, look at our fund balance. That's going to change with the forecast because we're going to make some adjustments, but we're still going to be a negative fund balance, right? So 29, we're going to be negative. All right. So we need to try to be proactive, like you said. We need to be proactive. So we need to be proactive. If we could go, Mrs. Farthing, thank you very much. And this is this has just been our expenses over revenue. So you can see over time, and it's tough because we've had COVID and all kinds of crazy things going on that just taxes us as all of us, school districts, So you can see our expenses over revenue, 21.3, 22.4, 23.6. And then we passed a levy, and to Julia's slide, her presentation, you pass a levy, you get a little, I'm sorry, what did the word they use? You get a little reserve. Unfortunately, we didn't have an opportunity to build the reserve. Okay? So we didn't have that opportunity because in 24 we just spent a little more. So we didn't have an opportunity to build the reserve. So then in 25 we spent a little bit, less than $1 million more, but you can see we didn't have that opportunity to build the reserve. We need to build a reserve. So we're not, and again, this is Marlowe, but the facts are the facts. We need to build that reserve so we're not in this situation, like we are. But districts are, there are many districts that I talked to the other day that are in the same boat. Like, they're in the same boat. So the board has to make a decision. Do we want to do earned income and try it or not? I think May is important that I personally, May is important that we try to go on in May, but that's Steve Marlowe speaking. I think the more opportunities we have, the more time we can educate our community, the better chance we have. But again, we're going to need, if we could go to the next, that's the forecasted expenses over revenue. You can see we're spending more than we're taking in. So we need to do something about that. Yes, we have to reduce, but we also are gonna need additional revenue, just because I don't think you can reduce 25 million, based upon the numbers that exist currently. Does that make sense? So if we go back to the last one, I'm sorry. This is it, I'm sorry.
Discussion.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. See, the fund balance, it's gonna be negative in 29, because we're not gonna be able to, the forecast isn't gonna change that much. So we need to seek additional revenue, and the question is, how do we go about doing that? I think we are recommending now the earned income option. It's new, and it's gonna be a challenge to educate, but we do need additional revenue. I mean, I don't think we can, we're gonna need additional revenue.
And if I may, with those numbers up there, and I do talk about this when I have an opportunity in the October forecast and in the last May forecast, we do not have pay increases for our staff past fiscal year 27. So 28, 29 do not reflect the pay increase. One, because we don't have negotiated agreements with the two associations with our teaching and support staff in place. So that's why if that happens, those numbers would actually be even higher, more negative, so to say.
So you mentioned that this has an opportunity to bring in about 9.5 million for us. When I'm looking at fiscal year 29, it's about 11.8 million. Has there been thoughts, and if not, it's okay, thoughts of discussion of how we still get that down? Because even with the 9.5 million that we're going to get in, we'll still be in a deficit about 2.4 million.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because
You don't have to.
no, there are discussions certainly. However, the numbers would play out just a little different, because if we have an earned income tax in 26, and then in 27 we get $500,000, let's say, not much out of that earned income tax, and in 28 we receive about $6 million, let's say, and then in 29 we receive the 9. The $6 million that we would receive in 27 would help our 29 numbers more so we would actually not be in negative. Do you see what I'm saying? Based on the estimates that the Department of Taxation is telling us, we would be getting about $6 million in 28.
Yeah. Didn't you, I feel like, I can't remember, but I remember you doing she did
I have the forecast. I have a huge
simulator, like a
spreadsheet.
simulator.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say putting in some numbers, I think brought it out to 32 or 30.
Correct.
Yeah, it
Yes.
brought us out of deficit to 30.
So in my forecast calculator, I have multiple tabs in it, and then I brought it to the board in December to show the options of a 1% earned income, and where would the numbers, how do the collections start coming in, and how long will it keep the district in positive balances. And also we can put in there any property tax millage, and also see how that plays out for us. So we have done some
Okay.
of that exercise.
Thank you for that.
But
You're
a
welcome.
question back to Merck's question, doesn't it change, I don't know the mathematical terminology, so if we eliminate the 730 in 28, that adjusts everything, so that does lessen the amount of
That's
debt
correct.
in 29. And so the more you
Correct.
do each year, the better the next year gets. So it would still be negative, like Mr. Marlowe was saying, but it might not be as negative as what
Correct.
we see up there.
Right, that's
If
my
we-
that's
yeah.
that's what I understood from
Yeah.
it. But I was just asking about it because I know we wouldn't get the funds until around fiscal year 29-ish, maybe from that standpoint. So again, the
So
stimulation
the
will
hope
probably
would-
help me better
yeah,
understand
correct.
it.
That's
Yeah.
and that's a great point too. When you,
Yeah.
if you pass in 26, you collect in 27.
Right.
If you don't pass in 26, you don't collect till 28.
Correct.
So, and just another point, like we're looking at all our operations, like
Yeah.
all of our operations we're looking at to try to reduce and try to be more efficient and more effective in what we're doing. So from a business perspective to curriculum and technology, so we're looking at all of our operations to try to reduce expenses, to try to help
Yeah.
that.
And
No,
also
it does.
at right sizing our district, because we do have declining student enrollment
Yeah.
over the course of the last 10 years. It's not by a lot, but it's probably a 10% decline in the student enrollment numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I just want to reiterate, it's getting newer in our area, but it's not nothing new in Southern and Mid Ohio.
I'm happy.
From that
for
standpoint,
you
like
to-
it's not nothing new. It's been around for
Thank you.
over 20 decades down there. So again, it's moving closer up to our area now and throughout the state of Ohio. But Southern Ohio, they pay it and don't even think about it.
That's why, see, when I was showing 212 schools
Mhm.
out of 607, so about 33% are already having one of those school district
Right.
income taxes.
And that's why I want to add color to that. So people are like, well, why is it only 212 and not all of them? Because it's really a Southern to Mid Ohio thing that's traveling more across Ohio. So yeah, thank you, Julia.
Of course, thank you.
Sorry for all my questions, Marlo and Headache.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. I think part of that too is the ruralness of those property values, you know, the farmers and things of that nature, based upon what I know, you know, those property values went up and it was hard for them. So I think that's why, another reason why the earned income is, you see more prevalent in the rural areas.
Okay. And you're set.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Remonstrance. Persons wishing to address the Board of Education should submit a blue card found in the lobby to the treasurer prior to the meeting so they may be recognized by the board president and welcome to make comment. No formal action will be taken on subjects that are not included on this agenda until the board has had an opportunity to study them. Comments regarding personnel must be submitted in writing through the office of the superintendent. Although there is normally adequate time for citizens to express themselves at a board meeting, if several people wish to speak, each person will be allotted 5 minutes until the total time of 30 minutes is used. Each person addressing the board is asked to give his or her name and address. All right, looks like we do have one. Lindsay Gavin, thank you.
I also prepared some handouts. Can I give them to you guys?
Sure, thank you.
This is just supplemental stuff. Thank you so much. And I was trying to cut down my comments to 5 minutes, because I didn't know that was possible. Thank you. Thank you all for having me here today. My name is Lindsay Reagan. My daughter plays hockey at Garden Heights. She's played there for the past 4 years. 3 years ago, I started this hockey team for her there.
Lindsay, sorry, can you state your address for me, please?
3102 Blue Jay.
Thank you.
I'm here today because I love ice hockey and I want to voice support for our Twinsburg High School hockey team. I believe it's good for Twinsburg to have a team. I understand our team is on pause because there's not enough interested players right now. COVID did a number on boys hockey interest. To be honest, that's part of it. I know our board makes budget decisions and our district faces budget constraints like any public school district. No one has said this is going to happen, but I still feel nervous. Please do not let this pause turn into a full cancellation of the sport. I do not feel this would be good for Twinsburg. All the school districts that are contiguous to Twinsburg have ice hockey teams. None of the towns have an ice rink, but like us, they have proximity to 4 ice rinks, and those school districts have ice hockey teams. I think we should be like them. Of course, that's Nordonia, Hudson, Solon, and Aurora. On niche.com, which ranks school districts, 8 out of the top 10 school districts in the Cleveland area have ice hockey teams. Twinsburg is ranked 13th on niche of the 2026 best school districts in the Cleveland area, out of about 90 school districts. Having an ice hockey team is clearly an attribute of the top school districts in the Cleveland area. We should recruit players and unpause our team as soon as possible. It's for the benefit of Twinsburg and our local hockey players. It's been a tough lesson to learn to pause our team for a year. My call to action, and I understand you might not be able to respond to this right now, but my call to action for the board and the athletic department would be for this summer, what are we willing to do beyond being willing to ice a team? For example, could the district sponsor like a several-week learn-to-play program for Twinsburg kids currently in grades 7 to 12? Those families who are interested, they should share costs, of course. I'm not talking about open skates that are run by captains. I am talking about a professionally ran learn-to-play program that could accelerate the development of these kids who are new to the sport, educate them on how to get into this amazing sport, and get us back on the path of getting our team back. So that was my call to action. I don't think you guys respond, you just take a note, is that right? Okay. So then the second piece of my commentary, and this one's a little bit longer and equally close to my heart, so if you gotta, my husband was teasing me, he said they're gonna shut your mic off, so if you gotta do that, just let me know. It's about girls hockey. I played college hockey, NCAA Division I hockey, and it was a very joyful and powerful experience. So for those that don't know, and the fellow from OHSAA, he said, go talk to your school district when I reached out to him. He said, so for those of you that don't know, high school hockey in Ohio is co-ed. It's male dominated, but it's co-ed. And I support the girls who want to play on those teams. But for my own daughter, I would really like her to have opportunities to be on an all-girls hockey team. Girls have played hockey for more than 100 years. Title IX was passed more than 50 years ago. Women's hockey has been in the Olympics for almost 30 years. Women's hockey has been an NCAA sanctioned sport for more than 25 years. Despite this, in the Cleveland area, we only have one high school aged girls hockey program, and that's at Gilmore. It's been this way for over 25 years. Without girls teams, girls have to play on their co-ed high school team. The rosters and culture is male dominated, and there is body checking. It's possible that there are situations where a 14-year-old girl is playing on the ice against an 18-year-old boy, which is essentially a young man. This is a safety issue and an inclusion issue if our girls don't have access to girls' ice hockey teams. I just want to make sure I make clear there's incredible girls hockey players who have come out of Ohio or Cleveland area. This is unbelievable. But we've got 3 Olympians and then a 4th woman who represented Team USA. So it's incredible, the women who've come out of this area from the Cleveland Suburban Hockey League. I think people in the area would like to see girls hockey grow, but they are very worried about the health of high school hockey. And so they get nervous about supporting girls hockey. That's an impression I get. I may be wrong, but that's my impression. I understand Twinsburg has their hands full right now, just getting our high school hockey team back on the ice, and is not in a position probably to introduce a girls hockey team. Perhaps a more robust hockey town like Rocky River, Kenston, or Mentor could get that started with the girls hockey teams. But my call to action for you and my request is simply that you commit to being open-minded about girls ice hockey as the conversation evolves, and be willing to think outside the box on how we can support our local girls hockey players in Twinsburg. Because I believe that conversation is going to come because of what's going to happen in the Olympics next month. I want to just quickly touch on a young lady named Layla Edwards. I apologize if it seems maybe not appropriate for this forum, but she's our 3rd Olympian from Cleveland, and I don't want us to miss this moment. My ultimate why for advocating for girls hockey is for my 12-year-old daughter. I want her to have opportunities to play with girls, but I'm really inspired by Layla Edwards and all the women's hockey players who've come before her, especially our Cleveland stars, like Blake Bolden, Brianne McLaughlin, Kelly Stack, and Layla. I want to tell you about Layla. I'm going to try to be quick, and I don't want to beat us to death, but we didn't really give flowers to the previous girls hockey stars out of this area, and we just really need to meet the moment this time. And people just don't know because they don't know about girls sports. Layla's from Cleveland Heights. She plays hockey at Wisconsin and is a 2-time NCAA champion. She's an IIHF World Champion for 2025 with Team USA. She was the MVP of the U18 Women's World Championship in 2022. She was named the best forward of that tournament. She was a Patty Kazmaier top 3 finalist last year in college. For women's hockey, that's like the Heisman Trophy. She was the 2024 Bob Allen Women's Hockey Player of the Year. This is awarded by USA Hockey to the top American female hockey player in the United States. She was a first-team All-American in 2025. She was named to the Frozen Four All-Tournament team in 2025. This is a cool one. She led the NCAA in goals scored with 35 goals in 41 games last year. Again, she's from Cleveland Heights, Ohio. We can give her some. Amazing. So amazing. My kids got to meet her, and she's very humble, and I just really excited for her and what she's about to experience. She was recently named to the Team USA Olympic women's ice hockey team and is the first Black woman to represent Team USA at the Olympics in women's ice hockey. Yep. And I'm almost done, but in an incredible story, Team USA has changed her position from forward to defense. Controversial, and we'll see how it plays out in the Olympics. But Layla went on to lead all defenders in points in the pre-Olympic rivalry series with Canada. This is incredible. Exactly. Like, I coach a little girls team, and just to take a girl from forward and put them on defense in a game, we're like, no, we can't do that. Not even at little girls level. And Layla's doing this on the international level, and she's from Cleveland Heights. She's a local star. USA Hockey and Hockey Canada, they brought Team USA and Team Canada to Rocket Arena a couple months ago. Those federations just don't do that unless they see significant potential in our girls' hockey market. And so I just want to invite local hockey stakeholders, including youth hockey volunteers and school districts and board members like yourselves, to just help us in the hockey community meet this moment. Help us honor the accomplishment of our local girls hockey heroes, Blake Bolden, Brianne McLaughlin, Kelly Stack, and Layla Edwards. They wouldn't be where they are without the support from the Cleveland hockey community, and I hope we can make things even better for the next generation of girls hockey. I would like to work together. Our boys matter as much as our girls. Our boys matter as much as our girls. Local high school hockey needs to be relentlessly nurtured, and I want to understand how those of us who want girls hockey can work with the high school hockey crowd. Certainly, I want Twinsburg to get our high school hockey team back. In conclusion, I just want to say thank you for your time and thank you for your commitment to our school district. Please continue your support for our Twinsburg High School hockey team and help us get this team unpaused and never canceled. Please embrace opportunities to support your girls hockey players in the district. And please embrace the attitude that we have to find a new way to nurture healthy enrollment numbers for co-ed high school hockey, but also as a region, we need to get more girls hockey teams for our high school aged girls. The sooner the better. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we will be in touch. That was awesome. Okay, so treasury reports and recommendations, meeting minutes. 1, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the following meeting minutes: regular board meeting of December 10th, 2025, and special board meeting of December 15th, 2025, as set in the board under separate cover. 2, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the following financial reports for the month of November 2025: bank reconciliation, cash summary report by fund, cash summary report by fund and special cost center, disbursement summary report and investment portfolio review, as sent to the board under separate cover. Resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves all expenditures for the month of November 2025 as reflected in the above named reports. And 4, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education, Summit County, Ohio, reviewed and approved the tax budget during the public hearing session of the Twinsburg City School District for the fiscal year commencing July 1st, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Hamilton, second by Mrs. Egan. Any discussion? There being none, can you
Mrs. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mrs. Egan?
Yes.
Mrs. Rush?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes. And that motion passes 5-0. J, action items, personnel. 1, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the certified staff recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks. 2, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the classified staff recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks. 3, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the supplemental contract recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks and completion of all requirements for a pupil activity permit. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Hamilton,
Second.
second by Mrs. Egan. Any discussion? All right.
Mrs. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mrs. Egan?
Yes.
Mrs. Rush?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes, and that passes 5-0. Action items, new business, K. 1, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the attached listing of media center items to be deleted from inventory. 2, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the attached listing of the technology items to be deleted from inventory. 3, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the contract for the 2025-2026 school year with the JB Safety First Transportation LLC, 1842 Dolan Drive, Cleveland, Ohio, for as needed transportation services for extracurricular events and special education homeless routes pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the contract provided to the board under separate cover. This is a general fund expenditure. 4, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the hourly rate increase for the board approved police officers providing security at events effective July 1st, 2026 from 50 per hour to 55 per hour. 5, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education determines the impracticality of transportation for the schools and student listed below for the 2025-2026 school year. This student was previously approved on August 20th, 2025, but the school was incorrectly listed. The school is correctly listed below and verification has been received by the Transportation Department. Lists of the student names are kept in the Transportation Office. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Travis,
Second.
second by Mrs. Egan. Any discussion?
Just as a reminder, the impracticality for transportation is based on the state guidelines for mileage and time from here to there. There's nothing that we do that's personal to any of these opportunities for students or families. We follow the law.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Egan?
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mrs. Rush?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes, and that passes 5-0. And 6, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the emergency building automation system agreement with Campbell Incorporated in Cuyahoga Heights, Ohio, through the Ohio Buys Purchasing Consortium in the amount of $141,713 for automation repair, service, and support for district-wide HVAC systems for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year and the 2026-2027 school year, as sent to the board under separate cover. This is a permanent improvement fund expenditure. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Hamilton,
Second.
second by Mrs. Travis. Any discussion?
I did want to just add a couple of notes for the community and the board. This is something that we had most recently discussed a couple of times now at our Building and Grounds Committee meeting. And what this does, just to try to put it in 1,000-foot view, is when you think about the district's boiler systems, air conditioning, heating, just the HVAC in its entirety, anyone's thermostat in your home is going to be electronic based, and that's how you control it. The district several years ago, Treasurer Rosnaya brought up an energy program payment that we had paid off part of that recently. The district had engaged with a company called Gardner several years ago, and in that package they did update several of our boilers, LED lighting systems, and so on. In that project, there was an artificial intelligence program overlaid into our thermostats and into our HVAC control systems. And just due to the way the package was structured and the age of our HVAC system in the district as a whole, we've really struggled over the past couple of years to get that system to function properly. This is an expense that we really were trying to make it through this school year and avoid it. However, this contract with Gardner had a very peculiar expiration in that it expired this fall. And we've experienced so many gremlins and problems with our HVAC systems. And right before Christmas break, we nearly had to close Dodge again because of a freeze and a bursted coil. And a lot of it, when we centered it back and did a drill down, it was because of our lack of ability to have adequate control of the HVAC system. So we weighed in on this, and we've been investigating. Campbell Mechanical's been a really good partner with us about the last year and a half. So our thinking in this, I just want to be transparent with everyone, is this gets us through the rest of this school year and next school year. However, about this time next year, we will be working with Campbell and the OSC to do a comprehensive review of all of the districts' HVAC programming to get us more like a 5-year deal. I don't like to do 1 or 1.5 year deals like this was, but we sort of got backed into a corner on this the way the contract timed out. So next year, right about this time, you're going to see me doing some reporting here in the board meeting about our HVAC system and about what we need to do in the long term, like 3 to 5 year range to really get it where it needs to be. So I just wanted to provide everyone with some additional context, just so everyone knows sort of the direction that we're taking in the interim and then long term. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you please call the roll, Ms.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Travis.
Yes.
Mrs. Rush,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes, and that passes 5-0. Item A, miscellaneous. I'll start by, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll just say thank you to our Director of HR for joining us today, and I want to wish him happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday. I have actually 2 things. The first thing is this past Monday, the Twinsburg Athletic Boosters had our winter sports dinner, where we provided dinner for about 175 athletes for our winter sports. It was a great gathering. We did this for the fall. We had about 380 students then, 170 plus for winter, and we'll do it again for the spring. But it's a great opportunity for all of our students, cross-athlete, cross-sports, to be able to mingle with one another, talk about their sports. El Chile Bravo was the one that was able to cater it for us, so it was a great opportunity, and we look to continue to do that more in the future. The second thing I want to just mention is that we also, Athletic Boosters, have our big wrestling tournament that happens January 23rd and 24th. It's for middle school. It's the largest middle school tournament of Northeast Ohio. We have 30 plus schools throughout the region that come to this particular tournament. So we are always looking for volunteers. So if there's any volunteers, there's a Sign Up Genius on some of the websites that are out there. So we encourage volunteers. But it's a great opportunity. We're excited for all the schools to come, and a great showcase for Twinsburg City Schools.
So I guess I'll go. I know typically the new board member gives like a little speech thanking the communities and things of that nature. So I guess this would be the good time I did write it down just because my life is busy. I'm truly honored to sit up here with you ladies, to be a member of the Twinsburg City School District. I first want to thank the residents of the community for placing your trust in me, to my family, my friends, and everyone that supported, encouraged, and believed in me long before tonight. I also want to express a sincere respect and appreciation for you ladies, and for the district leadership. You all have carried an enormous responsibility, and I'm grateful for the work you all have done and the opportunity to work alongside of you. I come not to disrupt or to divide, but to contribute and to partner. I bring a commitment to listen, to learn, and to hopefully roll up my sleeves not too far and get in and get a little dirty. Not too dirty. I got to keep my nails clean. Professionally, I spent my career, as you all know, in finance, compliance, and public service, roles for me that demand accountability, transparency, and thoughtful decision-making. But more importantly, I come to this role, as we all do, as parents, as community members, and as someone who deeply believes that strong community does build strong schools. And I'm a firm believer that it truly takes a village to raise a child, which you all, some saw my village earlier, part of them. Because of that belief, I want you all to understand I take this role and my responsibility seriously. To the staff and residents and businesses of this community, I promise I will listen, try not to talk too much, but good luck with that one. I will engage honestly, and I will keep the students at the center of every decision. That means showing up, asking the tough questions, and making choices that serve our district for the long term and to overall help the district health, which Julia and Marlo has been great at tonight with helping us to try to get there. One thing I want to close with is that leadership is not about being in charge. It is solely about taking care of what's in your charge. Again, I am honored to serve our community and ready to get to work together for our students, our staff, and our community. I truly believe that these are our schools. Like, this really is our investments. We have to get smart. The same way you invest at home in your own personal life, we have to do the same here as a board. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And thank you all. And thank you all for giving me that time. Sorry, it's long. You know I talk a lot.
That's great. Thank you. We thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Any others? Okay, well, there is a need for executive session. So the board will enter into executive session at 7:26 p.m. To discuss employment discipline and compensation of public employees as per the Board of Education Policy Number 0167.2. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Travis, second by Mrs. Hamilton. Any discussion?
Mrs. Travis,
Yes.
Mrs. Hamilton,
Yes.
Mrs. Rush,
Yes.
Mrs. Egan,
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford.
Yes, and that passes 5-0. I do not see the need for us to reconvene here, so I did want to thank everybody for joining us, and have a great evening.
Aaron.